And that happens 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generation, 4. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in a place where it's a normalized thing. That's why I get to culture. The likes of a Thomas Sowell, one of the most brilliant minds of all time, speaks on it.
You mean Milton Friedman's lap boy? Like, you know what? We shouldn't depend on the government. You should make your own money. By the way, give me your money to invest. One of the things that actually kind of always gets me is this. I dislike people that just think that they are one of the good ones. Not that they worked hard, they made it despite what everybody else has actually done. No, I'm better just because I'm just better. I'm a magical Negro. like for real. Tell me about it. You special because you special. Yeah, everybody that didn't make it is because they were just lazy. Huh? Weren't your parents rich? No, my parents weren't rich. I lived in an affluent neighborhood, and I went to some of the best schools like these other people. But no, because I'm special because I'm special. It wasn't about the coochie you fell out of, the nutsack you fell out of. No, I'm special because me. Yeah, you sound like those people who, because the government paid for the GI Bill and help prop up Redline, and that they just did it for themselves too, huh? Never mind that during the Great Depression y'all was still Anyway, I hate when black people say that, dear black people, it's your fault that you're poor. Really? How? Well, you could have been better. Okay, dog. Okay. You could have learned history. And making it is an exception and not the rule. But anyway, that brings up this video. Let's hear this gentleman about, dear black community, stop blaming slavery for everything. Cool. Can we do Jim Crow? Can we do redlining? Can we do, the crack epidemic? Like, I got a few more, you know what I'm saying? But let's go.
If you've never seen me before, this is the best way I can describe myself. I am the guy who says the quiet part out loud. Simple as that. I don't do it for clickbait. I don't do it for rage bait or any other type of bait. I just do it because it has to be said. Somebody's got to say some of these things. And what I'm about to get into today is probably going to be one of my more quote unquote controversial subjects, just because we've made a taboo to talk about these things. These conversations have been gatekept, and people have created all sorts of taboo and fear and stigma around them, right? If you say
no, nobody has. People have been having these conversations for years when they want to get on the good side of the people. Stop. Look, I chastise these people that try to be black to just say, yeah. Black people were super repressed, because I chastise them because they're selling their oppression not to black people, but to, white people to make themselves feel better. But this one, dog, we've been having, Candace Owens has been around for a while. So you're not special. You're not special, brother. You're not special. But let's go.
Say these things, you are a sellout and you are no longer part of the group. But guess what? I done revoked my damn quote unquote black card a long time ago. It had been revoked, right? It's been canceled.
See, these are the people that's uncomfortable with their own blackness. Here's the thing. I don't care if you spew these stupid, uninformed, ahistorical, goddamn points. is stupid, I get to make videos saying how stupid you are, how dumb your points are, and how I wish you go read a book. And I'm not even saying you need to go read this book or talking about it. Like, I'm just saying like a history book or just like stuff that's unbiased that talks about, yeah, this was happening, this is bad, this was happening, this was bad. Dog, you read like some of the stuff on like the Panama Papers or that knows like, hey, we was screwing as America, and yeah, we're still part of America, our collective people and people across the globe, mostly in this hemisphere. But let's go.
Cancel. My membership has been gone for a while now, so I'm okay telling it as it is. Here it is. Every relevant empire, and even many irrelevant empires throughout history, had slaves. Yeah. Now I can already hear that mental chatter going the hell up, but you don't, how dare you? You don't understand. The chattel slavery was the worst form of slavery. The black man has experienced worse slavery than anybody else. Yeah, here's the thing. All slavery is a terrible idea. It is inhumane, and I am thankful that we have evolved our way, mostly evolved our way out of the concept of viewing a human being as a piece of property.
What's the point in bringing up every empire had slaves? Yeah, most of those slaves, they grew and rebelled, and they kind of ended those slave masters when they got free. Even when it was indentured servitude, when they got free, they got free. They freed them people from the mortal coil. What's your point? And it took them sometimes hundreds of years to recover. What's your point? Let's go.
But I will say this. In Africa, western part of Africa more specifically, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast area, there was a tribe of people known as the Homies. I'm not making this up. I did an entire video. Known as the Homie tribe, who not only treated their slaves terribly, but would literally sacrifice them. Let's say if a family member of royalty, the chieftain, whoever it was, were to pass away, 4,000 slaves would be brutally massacred. Now we can go down to South America, where we have the Aztecs, the Toltecs, etc. And we have human sacrifice taking place. Who do you think was being sacrificed up there at the top of those?
Oh, this is a big ass whataboutism. Like, whataboutism, whataboutism, whataboutism. Get to the point. Stop the whataboutism.
At the top of those pyramids, right? Hearts being pulled out in real time. Rolled down the stairs, a sacrifice to the gods, or burnt as an offering, a sacrifice to the gods. These were enslaved people, servants if you want to call them. They were less than livestock. They were low as dirt in these societies. Now, the reason I bring this up is not to belittle chattel slavery, but it is to say, folks, we have had a dark human history, and we have been able to overcome these aspects of history. And in many cases, quite rapidly. Communities of people who have gone through extreme...
Some of those people didn't make it, dog. Some of those people were reduced to so little of a number, it's hard to see those existing now. You know that, don't you?
Traumatizing situations, right? Have been able to overcome those. A great example as just an analogy is the story of, what's his name? Viktor Frankl, right? Within Auschwitz. A man who saw family members essentially being unalived right in front of him, who experienced some of the greatest trauma. And this man came out of one of those camps and became not only a prolific individual, as far as, psychologist, a writer, a speaker, but was somebody who had a level of resilience and a level of personal agency that you don't find in most people who haven't been through 1% of that, right? Most people would just be victimized for the rest of their life. This man did not see himself as this victim. He saw himself as a victor, somebody who conquered even the most difficult, tumultuous aspects of his life. Again, many people are going to be victimized in ways, but are you going to carry that with you throughout life?
See, this is what bringing up these examples, these exceptions to the rule. It's easy for somebody to point to one out of millions of people that can't make it, that won't make it. Small YouTuber here. Am I going to have millions of followers? Yeah, I hope I would. But if I don't, I'm not somebody to be the type to give up. But there are people who will. They'll make 1 or 2 videos. They barely get views on it. And then they'll go like, oh no, I can't do it. Some people don't have that strength. Some people do. It's the exception, not the rule. Let's go.
And so when we get into the conversation of slavery, we can even talk about colonization and things of that nature. But slavery is really the hotbed, because it's the one that's pushed the most. It's the one that is used to emotionalize people. Race hustlers, white liberals, these groups of individuals benefit from this.
Dude, you're being a race hustler right now. And slavery is mentioned because it's the root of the problem. So many things branched off from it that started with slavery. You can't escape that. Oh, people brings up slavery because it makes them feel bad. No shit. It was something to feel bad about. What people went through, what their ancestors went through, that's something to feel bad about. Now, I'm not saying that white people should feel guilty that were born today that didn't own slaves. They should not feel guilty that their ancestors did something that they wouldn't have done. That's the whole thing that I get upset about when people like FD Signifier makes videos to like, you should have shame for your ancestors. Instead of saying, hey, can we fix this, what's going on now? Not just retroactively change what happened a century ago. Let's get results now. Instead of saying, I'm going to shame you into feeling bad about something that happened that time. But let's continue.
Continued perpetual story of you're a slave, and that's why you are in the place that you are, right? Taking away the reality that even after, or even at the end and in the midst of slavery, there were black folk who were able to not only do for self, but were able to create lives that were far beyond their white counterparts.
Does he not realize there was a Reconstruction period? Does he not realize there were Jim Crow laws? Does he not realize we had to have a Civil Rights Act? Does he not realize that redlining actually didn't really end until like the 70s and 80s? Does he not realize that? Did he not realize that there was a crack cocaine epidemic that was targeted towards black people because Nixon wanted to like break the hippies and the blacks, like because he thought the blacks were inferior because they were slaves and they didn't have the same rights because they weren't allowed to. This is stupid, man. What does he think happened? This is what I'm talking about. And the stuff that I'm talking about isn't some like conspiracy theory. No, we actually have non-biased sources saying that this is the thing. These people are so caught up in their, I'm a good one, that they forget history that wasn't even 40 years ago. But let's continue.
Who genuinely had a more than a leg up, we could say, right? Who had a little more than just privilege at those times. When the Democratic Party was trying to keep slavery intact and they created Jim Crow laws and we step into the Jim Crow era, and you still have black folk who are thriving in those spaces, even though you have this Democratic Party who is trying to eradicate and crush any element.
You know, it's funny. These people that keep saying it was a Democratic Party, but they won't talk about that they were Dixiecrats, they were conservatives, and they were in the South. And the more progressive were Republicans in the North. And even though it wasn't a perfect party switch, it still was a party switch. He wants to like cast this die on the Democratic Party of today, which for some reason they are racist, but they still push DEI because they don't like white people, but they were the racist white people. And it's like, if you take the time to sit back and listen to this stupid stuff that they say, it's just like, you're just bullshitting me to get me to get on your side.
Element that is not of their own, right? You have people who are prospering in those times, and we fast forward to 2024, and now we want to talk about this is the result of slavery. This is the result of culture. It's the result of this isn't the byproduct of racism, because an individual who goes through let's say a lifetime's worth of just the most brutal racism can still come out on the other side and create something for themselves, build a life, become successful, thrive, get married and have children, have a family, right? We now live in a day and age where these things are more rare than they are the norm.
And this is where it kind of like pisses me off, right? Here's the thing. If that was the case, that is black people's culture, why aren't white people getting married at the same rate as they used to as well? Huh? Huh? Yeah, why aren't white people getting married at the same rate as they used to as well? What? Oh. What is it that we have the studies showing that black parents, black fathers actually spend more time rearing a child than any other ethnicity than there is? They just said, look, not married, so child is bad. Never mind. The actual facts that we have. It makes no sense to me. This loser that sit back and say, oh, it's the black community. Oh, it's the black culture. Tell me something. Then why is it affecting white culture as well? Huh? You don't have anything to say about it? Loser. Let's go.
Where the family unit is broken apart. Yet in slavery, you had more families together than you do today.
What? Did this man literally say in slavery you had families more together? I mean, like, if the plantation owner had, like, was sleeping with his slaves and made a lot of kids, of course they were together. But, when it came down to sell some of them, then, of course, you're going to split them up. This man is, how many views does this video have? I swear. Man, that pick me train is, boy, they be getting on with it, don't they? Cheers.
And again, I am going to highlight some of the more specific things that happen as far as policy, but the most relevant one is Lyndon Baines Johnson, LBJ, Democratic president in 1964, right after JFK was assassinated. He signs the Civil Rights Act after he's forced into it. I say this story every time like this because we can't negate the actual history. We always just kind of leave these gaps. And no, we're not going to do that. We're going to attribute the cause to the person who created it.
Cool. Let's go. You say he was forced into it, even though he was like, yeah, no. Racist is all get out compared to the standards we have now. But he was like, yeah, no, we need to give these black people some rights. He was so moved by compassion that he was trying to do it before Kennedy died. Like, he was a proponent of it before Kennedy died, even though it was Kennedy's idea. But he was like, no, of course not. He just had the will to do it after, and then after Kennedy died. It was the political spark. But maybe I mentioned that.
So we have the Republican House and the Republican Senate, or majority Republican House, majority Republican Senate, that pushed the Civil Rights Act through, right? As they usually did. In the same way, in 1965, they were the ones who pushed through Emancipation Proclamation. It's been in their DNA the entire time.
See, this is what I mean by these people are just dishonest as hell. Again, it was the Republicans of the North, the progressive of the North. This wasn't the people in the South. That's why you see so many people like Strom Thurmond, who was a Democrat, when the Civil Rights Act pushed through, he became a Republican in the South. Stop acting like this. And, Strom Thurmond was, even though he was racist, he wasn't wasn't far beyond, getting him some black love. But let's go.
1954, creation of the Democratic Party for the purpose of the eradication of slavery. But I digress. So we got LBJ in 64. We step into 65, and now this man is signing all these reform. All of a sudden, he's a reform man, right? He loves black people. He used to be a staunch racist. Now he loves black folk. And so he is essentially creating bills that are welfare reform, social programs, etc. His intention was to make.
What kills me is that what LBJ was doing is something that had been precedent had been building up from Eisenhower. Truman was Truman derailed a lot of stuff, namely FDR's second Bill of Rights. Truman derailed it. But when Eisenhower came in, it was a turn to try to push more people into more progressive way of running a country. Because you got to remember, Eisenhower was a general, so he actually had to deal with a lot of stuff that the Army had to deal with. And the Army, say what you will about them doing, adventurism overseas, but one thing that they try to strive for is racial equality, especially after Eisenhower. You can look at me funny, but there were some times where there's no, we need. They came out with that video. I know I did it so long ago where it was like, yeah, no, you can't start thinking that you less than any other man. Like, no, the Army has always been at the forefront of yeah, we need to start treating these people equal. Now, there have been people in the Army that have reflected serious racism and serious hate, but when it comes down to it, the Army needs bodies. They don't care what color the skin that body is in. They're gonna need bodies so they can fuel that war machine. And that was going from Eisenhower through Kennedy through Johnson. There was a specific thing where they were trying to say yeah, we kind of need to do better. But they had pushback from the South. But let's go.
Make sure this group of people was relying upon government, which is what most totalitarian style governments do anyway, right? They want as much control as humanly possible. And so that's exactly what they did. And they pushed incentive programs to make sure that families were broken apart. They didn't say break apart your families, but if you have kids and you have no man in the house, no husband, you're going to get more of a bonus from us. You're going to get more money. So imagine you're now in a situation where that's not only being incentivized, but it's being normalized. It's okay to do that. Leave that man because he's a problem anyway. And the government.
God, you can just tell that these people have so much of a chip on their shoulders. Is he going to mention the GI Bill? Is he going to mention the funding that the government gave, the HUD loans that they gave for white people to move out to the suburbs? No, he's not going to mention that. He's not going to mention that that's how a lot of white people built their wealth, because HUD loans that they gave them to move out to the suburbs. What? No, he's not going to mention that. And I'm like, fuck it. Hey, I'm not going to take away from their shit, but you mean my shit too. But it's just weird, man. They want to tell you the half truth. If you're going to tell the truth, tell the full truth, dog. Let's go.
Government can give you more money than that man ever could bring into the house. And that happens 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generation, 4. And all of a sudden we find ourselves in a place where it's a normalized thing. That's why I get to culture. The likes of a Thomas Sowell, one of the most brilliant minds of all time, speaks on
You mean Milton Freeman's lap boy? Like, well, you know what? We shouldn't depend on the government. You should make your own money. By the way, give me your money to invest. God damn it. All right, let's go.
On culture for this reason. Culture is the way in which your beliefs, your value system, your morality, right? When you have a culture that incentivizes, or at the very least does not make criminal behavior taboo, you're going to have criminal elements within your environment.
Idiot. Crimes have been illegal since there have been crimes, and they're still the criminals. Idiot. What are you talking about? You know what we're going to do? We're going to make a law stopping murder. It's going to really happen. We're going to put in a special set of 10. And we're going to make sure that murder doesn't happen because we made a law. Our guard said this is law, said no killing. That'd mean no more murders ever. But what about the people that still did? I said it's not going to work. All right, let's go.
It is only when you make it taboo, you make it something shameful. You go into the Japanese culture, etc. Even the poor of the Japanese, stealing is it's not an option for you. Singapore, you might get your damn hand cut off. You understand? They're not.
Yet there are people that still steal. I don't get it. I don't understand this whole idea of just. And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, we shouldn't have any laws. But when you make it illegal and it's not going to happen. What world do you live on, dog? Because I live on this one, and I've met humans. And I know that people that will do some strange things for some change. I know some people that will do even more strange things because they feel that they have no other option. I know people that will do even more strange things because they feel like they have no hope because despair. What are you talking about? Let's go.
Going to play about these things. Even the poor, the destitute, those living in rural surroundings, those who might be making $2 a day or $1 a day. You don't find that, just because they're poor, they're criminal. It's one of the greatest misconceptions, if not a lie, that has been perpetuated to say that.
What do you think the black market comes from? What do you think the black market is? Damn, like, I wish I lived in the special world of these people that, because there's a rule against it, people don't do it. Shit. Let's go.
That, poverty creates criminality. No, somebody said in my comment section on one of my more recent videos, they said that's very insulting to a lot of poor folks. And I agree. It should be insulting if you were somebody living in abject poverty. To say that you, who is a law-abiding citizen, who has a moral compass and a value system that won't allow you to do certain things, to live a certain way. You still have poor folks, but there's family units. You go out in
He honestly believes this. I don't know if he honestly believes it, but he's honestly saying this. That poor folks won't do illegal stuff for survival. Is this a just be happy that you poor and deal with it type conversation? All right, let's go.
In them rice fields in China or something like that, right? You have a mother and a father and a child, or children, whatever it may look like, because that's a cultural normality. And so when we point to slavery did it. Slavery did a lot of things, and it did psychological, it did a lot of psychological harm. But there's also been a lot of those psychological barriers being broken throughout time. There are those who made a decision to go beyond it, to break those generational curses.
And this is to go beyond. No, okay. So here's the thing. Are there exceptions to people that get out? Yes, but that's why they called exceptions. This is what, and I'll say it like this. This is what I say to like the leftists, online leftists that think, oh, things are going to get so bad that people are going to actually rebel. People have a high tolerance for things getting bad. They do. They will get bad as long as they feel that they can't get any worse. They will stay in a bad situation. And it's not a knock on them. It's just that they don't see any way it can get better. And some people will actually fall into despair and do crazy stuff. The point is for you to say that, oh, you just didn't do this. You don't know their situation, dog. And again, you don't know what's legal and what's illegal. Look at what happened with that guy in the Philippines, where he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and make some money, and then like he went to like the bad part where nobody, even the locals, don't go, and they were just criminal empires. Like, wait, they didn't have a law against murder. That's what happened. So they was able to like unalive him and, you know, take his money because of reasons. That sounds stupid. Yeah, of course it sounds stupid.
So when you are somebody who subscribes to that, let's say you do have trauma that's been passed down generation to generation, why not be the person who chooses to break free from that trauma, but instead cling to that trauma for dear life? Why not choose to be the difference maker within your own lineage? Again, I'm not going to take away from the fact that your ancestors, my ancestors, went through what they went through. We only had independence in 1980. My dad was in the first class of integrated peoples in his school in a colonized society. All they knew was colonial Zimbabwe. That's all they knew. And so for them, they had to break out of a lot of these psychological trappings, but he made sure to break those generational curses in order.
Oh my God. No, he didn't. He's not a Myron. He's a Myron. Oh my God. He's a Myron. That's what it is. Oh, he's a Myron. Oh. He's a Myron. Oh. Yes. Let me just get this picture. He's a Myron. Okay, that's what it is. He's a Myron. He's a you American blacks, y'all just complain about stuff. I'm from Zimbabwe. Well, my parents are from Zimbabwe, so I don't see why you haven't had the issue. Oh, he's a Myron. All right, let's go.
Not to pass those things down to us. Don't give us that trauma. And maybe some people are just too selfish. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they want to be a victim and they don't give a damn what happens to the children. But I do. And I know a lot of people who do. I know a lot of people who are now looking to pass their own trauma to the next and the next. Who their mama used to be a 304. And so they say, you know what? I'm not interested.
He's even using 304. Oh my God. This is a Myron. Oh my God. This is a Myron. This is a Myron. Oh my God. This is a Myron. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go.
That I'm not interested in the mental, emotional, and the physical degeneracy that comes from that. Thankfully, I'm seeing a lot of that in the Gen Z, right? There's a divide as per usual, but there are those who are like, I'm not about to do what my big sister or my big cousins were doing, being for the streets. I'm not about to, you know what I mean? I'm not about to gangbang. I'm not about to do whatever it is like the people who came before me. And that's how we change the cycle. We have to change the belief system, the mentality. We have to get our values back in order. It's the only way, folks. And any quote unquote leader who is saying anything other than that, who is preaching anything other than personal agency, that individual is not for your good. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about your best and highest good. They're selling you a narrative of your victimhood in order for them to benefit from it.
Okay, so help me out, right? How you gonna tell somebody to pull themselves up by their bootstraps? We don't have no boots. They don't have no boots, dog. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That even still is like, you know, we know, but you know, you're not even giving boots, not even straps. What is your problem? Oh, okay, let's go.
BLM, first summer, they pop out of nowhere, right? First, the George Floyd summer, $90 million made in one summer from donations. Where's the money now? We're going to do this. We got to change this. We got to change that. So, okay, y'all defunded the police. Y'all collected all these funds and y'all bought mansions in California.
Sure, dog, whatever. One organization to help them all, huh? Wow. You know the sad part about it is, yes, BLM was a scapegoat by the right wing, and it's crazy. But some of the same stuff they said about the NAACP, they just couldn't do it. They couldn't just bring it down as much as they want to, so they switched to BLM. But have you guys heard them talk about, like, when they was talking about the NAACP? Oh, they were just nasty. But now it's non-kosher to talk about. Oh, let me not say that word about the NAACP. They did switch it to BLM. But ask me a question. Your problem with BLM, but like, don't Black Lives Matter as well? What would you do different? Who would you put up? How would you address the situation? It's cool to complain about something. It's cool to just take down an organization. Cool, great. If you think they're wrong, what resolution do you offer? They tried, they failed, they ran into publicity that they probably weren't ready for. Okay. But what organization would you have done in the wake of what happened? I'm waiting.
In white neighborhoods, mind you. Right? That's what y'all did. Y'all went on vacations. Y'all bought all kinds of expensive luxury goods. Oh, but that's
I'm sorry. It's just like, when you talk about, right wing organization, I don't know, I'm gonna sound like a whataboutism, where you have, right wing organization like NRA, or you have the think tanks, the political think tanks. They spend their money on some weird shit too. Again, my thing is to, like, not need these organizations to make systemic changes. But sometimes they got to play with the hand that's given, and sometimes you got to know when to hold them. Sometimes you got to know when to fold them. But again, instead of just crapping on BLM, what would you have done?
an anomaly. No, it's not the anomaly. Go to Al Sharpton. Go to Jesse Jackson. Go to any of these individuals' history and see. Somebody try to call.
Wait, when did Jesse Jackson get $90 million? Wait, what? Operation Push still happens. Rainbow Push, my fault, still happens. NAA still happens. What are you talking about? It just seems like you just, like, these organizations that mostly cater to color folks, not just black folks, but, people of color. You have an issue that they exist? Like, don't get me wrong. Okay. The right doesn't want organizations to help color folks. You see what they did to Acorn, the attacks that was on the NAACP, the attacks on Rainbow Push organization. They don't want them to exist because they either want the power to sit, and I'm not saying all white folks, the people in power that want some more control, because what happens is the people in power that want some more control, they want to disenable the organizations that help black people, and then they want to use hey, you want to be normal white people, you want to be on your way up, so you need to act like this. A social control. It's all intents to, and you doing the work of people that wants you to buy into hey, you want to be like us, so you need to act this way. Dude, I'm sorry, is that pick me bug bad with you?
called me a grifter one time. Oh, speaking for the white man, speaking for the white man. I said, do you know how easy it would be for me to just pander as a black man? I get a
You're doing it. You're doing it. Oh my God. The problem is you don't realize that you're doing what you're complaining about. You're doing it right now. Let's go.
attacked for saying these things because I'm black. If I just pandered like a Kamala Harris or whatever it may be, if I just pandered like a
like a Candace Owens. The problem is sooner or later you gonna get your Negro wake up call, and you're like, oh yeah, you were useful. And the fact that he's a son of it, he was, I don't care. I don't know if he was born here. I don't know if he was moved here. But the thing about it is, they gonna send you back too. You're gonna be on that boat with Myron. Yeah, we got all the bad ones out. Yeah. We ain't done yet. You go and get. Well, let's go.
D.L. Hughley or Charlemagne or one of these charlatans, I would have black folks praising me. But instead I choose to tell the truth because I am beholden to the truth and nothing else. It would be so easy for me to just pander. It's like the same thing with relationship advice. If I just pandered to women and told y'all, you're perfect, you ain't got to do nothing, you never have to change, you are the table, you are the kitchen cabinet, you are the sink, you are the curtains, you're the drapes. No, I'm not going to tell you that. There's likely that you have to do things in order to get the relationship.
Oh my God, he's a red pillar. I bet you don't like black women either. Oh my God, this is just suspicion. These women think that they're beautiful and they don't have to do anything. I'm not gonna pander to them. Oh my God, look, I can be truthful and have a conversation with a woman that I may be interested in, and we can actually vibe really well. I don't have to tell her, oh, you're a beautiful artist. Like, no. Why do these people think that he has, like, they have to, like, oh, I worship you? It is one woman that I was interested in that I used to actually play up that she was a goddess. And that literally was only because she literally had the name of a goddess. Oh, I worship you. Like, I mean, like, it was an ego thing. Like, yeah, good morning, my goddess. How are you? But literally, her name was a goddess. What else do? You joke with people that way. But these people, like, I gotta be kind to somebody. Huh? These bitches don't deserve me to be kind to them. You need to whoop them in place. This is sad. Let's continue.
That you want. And that means introspection. That means healing from certain traumas. That means showing up differently in the world. You can't show up with all of the attitude and all of the, rah-rah energy and get what you want out of a relationship situation. You got to step into your feminine. I'm going to say these things because it's the truth, not because it's going to get me popular.
Oh, you mad that women are actually mentally stronger than you, so they need to be weaker. Yes, master. Yes, master. Yes, master. I do anything you want. Yes, master. Me have an opinion. I don't need an opinion ending. Yeah. I did not realize this was going to be a red pill video. All right, let's go.
Trust me, if I was just after popularity, I promise you, all I would have to say all day till I'm damn blue in the face, all day long, the white man is after you. The white man, see, the system of white supremacy, it's not even the white man necessarily, it's the system of white supremacy that has infiltrated every single one of our institutions. That is the reason why you can't get your ass out of bed. If it was not for the white man, your ass would be out of the bed and you would be grinding towards your future. But you can't do any of that because of the white supremacist system. You see, if it wasn't for the...
Oh my god, that's how some people are. I'm not gonna lie, but like that was be this. I'm not gonna freeze frame that. I'm sorry, but that would be disingenuous as well, and nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying that. As a matter of fact, the people that are literally saying that the system is getting them down like that aren't black people, dog. That's not who's saying most of it. That's not who's saying most of it. Oh my god, that's not who's saying most of it. Most of it is like 22-year-old white leftists that get just mad at mommy and daddy, like that are on constantly online. No 30 or 40-year-old black person is saying that, dog. Come on now. Let's go.
Constructs of colonial whiteness and your self-hatred and deprecation due to the white man, you would actually do what you said you were going to do for the last 10 years, every single New Year's. You understand? That's all that is. It's not you. You know what I mean? You can't help yourself. You can't make a different decision for yourself to do something different. The reason why you are obese morbidly is because of white supremacy. It's white supremacy, not the fact that you continue to stuff your mouth filled with things that are going to lead you to be. It's not because you continue to fill yourself up like a gas gauge or a gas tank and carbohydrates are your oil or your fuel. It's not because of that. It's not because you're not getting yourself in the gym when you say you're going to, or keeping an actual regimen to work out and continue to move your body.
Spoken like somebody who thinks their experience is normal. I love motherfuckers like this. Oh my god, I love people like this. Silver spoon motherfuckers who literally think that, oh yeah, people just eat crazy and they don't work out and so they always supposed to be fat. Like, motherfucker, why don't you live my life for the last 5 years and you tell me that it was, oh, you just didn't, you was too lazy. I love it. I love it. All right, let's go.
Body, less calories in than you. It's not any of that. Surely it's not that. It's the white man. If I sat here and said that, talk slick all day, I would have a massive following of individuals who would be cheering me on. Oh, yes, King. Yes, King. How do I know that? Because before I was. And I wasn't even looking to pander. I didn't know what type of energy I was putting. I didn't know what type of audience I was drawing. I lost 1,500 followers the day before from the day before the election until the 6th. So like in a 3-day period, I lost 1,500 followers on IG. But the worst part was people going in on me. Now, it was actually
oh, his feelings are hurt. His feelings are hurt. I lost followers. His feelings are hurt. Oh God, I can't no more. I swear. Pygmies are gonna pick me. I don't know what else to say. This little cry fest that he has, he is sure enough being the new Myron. But anyway, guys, this is all I can actually take. So do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters and my Twitch subscribers. Join the Guardians, become a member, or become a subscriber on YouTube, Patreon, and help support the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and the next one should be popping up on your screen. Subscribe, and if you haven't checked it out and want to help out the channel, check out my Patreon. Thanks.